the final whistle goes at Anfield. Liverpool's long unbeaten home record is ended by Leeds United. It's Liverpool 1, it's Leeds United 2, and a bad season. We thought last weekend was the worst it got, but it's just gotten a whole lot worse, as Jesse mentioned, and his players celebrate at Anfield. It's been since March 2021 since Liverpool last lost a home game at a home Premier League game at Anfield, but that record is now gone, and it started in horrendous fashion, Errol, with Liverpool gifting a goal away in the 4th minute, another goal in the 89th minute, and I can't explain that. Where do we go from here?
To the World Cup. Like, for just fucking being off the footy. Like, literally.
Just Champions League or bust, no?
Yeah, just being off the footy. Cup competitions, get yourself up for it. Champions League, get yourself up for it. We need to salvage this Premier League run, but the only way we salvage it is from the World Cup onwards. Like, we can't sit here and pretend like we know what Liverpool team is going to rock up in those next 2 games.
No.
And if I wanted to keep it 100 with everybody watching the stream, I wanted to keep it a buck with everybody, I could probably put more money on it that we're going to flop and we're going to fumble the bag again in those next 2 games. Because, like I said to you from before, mate, the sample size of what we've seen this season can only lead you to one conclusion. We are not up to the standard, and if we're not up to the standard, why should I blindly back and say we're going to win these games? I can't do it. I'm not going to go out like that. I'm not going to do myself like that. Mate, we post ourselves out here, and at some, like, they're players, so they've got to go through it and live it, and fair play to them. They're professionals. We ain't professionals, we're just fans. I don't really like posting myself out here and making myself look like a tit, getting behind a team that can't even get up to fucking play.
I think that's the thing. We'll always be here and we'll always support them, but what they haven't done, they've given us no. The only reason you can say Liverpool can turn this around is because we've trusted this manager and this players before.
Yeah.
But that we're looking at previous experiences there. There's nothing from this season really. Like,
but that's when we've had holes in defence, and you can give them, like, you can empathise in the situation that they're in. They're all in it together. They just come off the back of winning. The only real one that you can think of with the example is when obviously the defence just capitulated and we had so many random injuries. But you're like, these lads have just come off winning a title. They've got all of that camaraderie with them still. They're all in it for each other because they know, like, the when it's good, it's great, and we can get ourselves back there. We just have to work together as a unit to get ourselves out of this difficult patch. Whereas this, yeah, there's been a couple of injuries, but the injuries are just paper over the cracks when players still aren't even playing to their normal level. Players are still playing below themselves. We can go through and name the players today that had stinkers, was stinking out the gaff. Harvey Elliott, for a lad who's played, again, and I think that's the issue, he's played a lot of football already this season, more than I would have probably been expecting him to play. But now it's coming to the point where he's off the boil in one game. He shouldn't be getting, attacked for that. But you can't, he's a young lad, he's just had a bad game, but it's just that because we're relying on him, I'm expecting him to go back to the well. Mate, how many times have I said it to you so far this season? When we go behind, we now have to work 10, 20, 15% harder to go and get a win, because we've got to get 2 goals instead of the 1 to be able to see out a game. We're having to do that. How many times can you go back to the well and dig out a performance? And today was another example. You're going to fall short and a team are going to sucker punch you, because the amount of chances we had that second half, we should have put that game to bed.
Their goalie has a good game, but like I say, some of those saves, some of the chances, yeah, you're right. It's just so frustrating. You when you're playing poorly. We said before the game it's going to be a battle. We know, because Liverpool aren't in great form. We know that. Even we beat Man City. We played really well. Ajax was all right, but in between that they had the Forest loss. When you're playing so badly, Errol, you can't afford to just gift the goal. And that, from the moment we started, that goal
set the tempo, set the tone.
It's such a bad goal to concede.
It's not even that though, mate. Well, that's a part of it, of course, but on top of that, we looked at that lineup from earlier and said, that's probably the strongest team we can put out. That's our strongest team we can put out right now with injuries. We don't have the luxury of being able to go back to the bench to bring out extra reinforcements, that if the game's not going our way, we can add firepower. We haven't got that right now. So these lads knew the job that they had to be. I wouldn't say they had to be perfect from the start, but they had to set that tempo from the start to say, we're going to take control of this game, we're going to get on the front foot, we're going to score the first goal, and we're going to take the game away from Leeds so we can manage it. You was talking to us about 60 minutes, take players off, have Napoli and want to go then. Could Jurgen have rotated and went weaker for this game? No, he went with his best possible team, and he still got beat in the end. Like, we didn't get slapped, we didn't get played off the park, but I said I wouldn't have been asked about the performance if we'd have got the result. I am now asked about the result and the performance because we stunk out the gaff and we shot ourselves in the foot. And how many times are we going to do it this season, man? It's hard to watch, bro. It really, really is. It's really
hard to
sad.
watch. Hard to watch is definitely the thing. Got a few super chats in here. Then Ryan Rogers, $10, says, the facts are if Klopp had the same resources as City, this doesn't happen. We haven't reinforced enough. And you can only do more with less for so long. Even with Klopp, the miracles dry up. To an extent, I agree, Ryan. Liverpool should have spent more than some of the owners need to get their hands in the pockets this January and the summer for sure, and spend they really need to. But still, that team's still good enough to beat Leeds. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a bit of both. I understand they did need to do that, but that doesn't excuse that performance. I agree to an extent. They do need serious investment in this squad now. It looks like an overhaul.
That team, you've got Fabinho, you've got Thiago in the midfield too. There, you've got a upcoming baller in Harvey Elliott.
You've got your world-class striker in Mo Salah. You've got the lad who you're going to spend more money than anyone else on in Darwin.
You've got your top goal scorer in Bobby. You've got your back four of choice. Most people on the day, given an opportunity, would put Joe Gomez in that back four as well. I just don't see how that team gets beat 2-1. You've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
That's what I am RTB £5 super thanks very much. Says I actually don't get how we can go from our playing Man City to losing against Forest and now to form Leeds in the span of a few weeks. And that's the thing, we said it all the time, Liverpool are so inconsistent and that is so frustrating. Just too much going on. I'm with you. But the problem, the difference is it's not unexpected.
No, Leeds didn't have an inferiority complex coming up against us today. They thought we are Liverpool's equals, and with that mentality carried them through the whole 90 minutes. At no point did we stamp our authority to say we've got the swagger, we've got the pull, we've got the power, and we've got the quality to dismantle use at any given point. There wasn't a 10-minute period where we blitzed Leeds and he was hanging on by a thread to the point where they're like, right, let's we've shown these too much respect. Let's just back off a little bit and let's just get our shape and let's just get a little bit of the ball and earn the right to play. They felt like they had the right to play from the first whistle. Why did we give them? Who rocks up to Anfield and does that? Mate, it's
two more super chats. Ellis Day, we were poor. The show's made a difference, but it ain't enough. Taking Trent off was a mistake in my opinion, but I'm not angry about it now. I'm just so frustrated. And then we've got Chandin, who think he says, where's that gone? Have we got that? FSG needs sacking, not Klopp. Like I say, a lot of stick goes on the owners, and like I said, they do need to spend more. I think that's without a doubt. Liverpool needs to reinvest. They are two separate conversations. Yes, they do, and they should do more. And I agree, Jurgen needs backing now because this team obviously is going to need a rebuild. But that still doesn't. That when you blame the owners for everything, and they are culpable in this, of course they are. Like we've got in the Discord chat here, it was. Let me see whose name it was. I want to make sure it was Limmy97. You can't blame anyone else other than the players, and that's the point. There are two conversations. They are both right. Liverpool need to reinvest in the squad now, and things obviously need shaking up. It isn't right, and things need to change. But on the flip side, the players who are playing are still good enough to beat Nottingham Forest, beat Leeds United. You know that beat Brighton, although they're having a good season themselves. That's do I understand? Am I making that point?
100%.
Well, if they are two different things,
100%. Both things can be true at the same time.
We do need to reinvest, and the owners need to pull the fingers out. But on the flip side, that right now in October, that's just a cop out for these players. You can't look at it. Yeah, it's all right because it's the owners' fault. No, it's the players' fault and the manager's fault. And Ryan says, Steve, you're right, both can be true. The players are good enough to beat these teams, but like I said, we do need more investment. It's clear now, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's both. And even the manager again. I don't think that formation. I know we beat Ajax, but I don't think that formation was particularly great against Ajax. And we went with it again. It didn't work out.
Didn't fill me with confidence. Snake Eyes there with the $5 super chat says Núñez lost 3 1-on-1s, Salah lost 2 1-on-1s. They're the Premier League. That's the margins. If you don't bury these teams, they will come by back to bite.
And I thought their goalie, again, he's another goalie who's coming out of a very good game at Anfield. Seems to be the case often. But like I say, I don't think he made any worldies. Like, absolute.
That Nunes top in.
It's a good save. It's a good save. But
quality save.
Liverpool, there weren't chances that you think, Liverpool should have done better on a lot of those things, and that's where it's a key. And let's have a little look. Foldy with a £10 super chat. FSG won't spend 100 to 2 million in January. They were banking on the Super League. That hasn't happened. I think they might sell, and I'm in two minds about that happening. If someone's going to come and bid, like, I think they want like 3 billion quid for it, 4 billion. I don't even know what they value it at these days. So if someone's going to come along with that, then they probably would. I think that there will always be a number that the owners will sell at. Listen, they bought last January, and if they won Champions League footy, it's one of those that you might have to say, you know, if you don't invest, you're going to lose all last Champions League money anyway. You might have to. They did go and buy Luis Diaz last summer, or last January. It did make a difference, so they might. But I'm with you. It feels now that maybe a refresh is needed. It feels like, I don't exactly know what that means and who goes and who stays, but it does feel like something needs to change at Liverpool, because it's clearly it's not working. Liverpool are losing games that they should never really lose. You can have the odd bad defeat this season. Listen, I watched Liverpool win the league, piss the league, and get beat at Watford. Like, shit can happen, but when you are, after this many, Liverpool are 9th in the table after 12 games on 16 points with 15 goals conceded, only 23 scored. It's clear now that something's not right. And again, the injuries are a killer, and that's part of it. The injuries, the lack of investment in the summer, players not playing well. It all combines into this. But it's, again, can you blame each of those different things for tonight's performance, or did you just say too many lads weren't at the level? It's hard to get my head round.
Yeah, and I think with the, you know, we can question and we can sit here, and there's probably shows that are probably better suited to having that debate about the summer and where it went wrong for us. And there needs to be a bit of a, you know, an investigation, because when you look at it now on paper, you really only bought one player for the starting 11 to improve your starting 11, and you know, you already lost one big player out of your starting 11. You only really replaced one. You can talk about the January business, but I don't really think that's fair to put that in with the summer business really anyway. I think we could have done with more reinforcements to kind of push players on and give them. I think it's two things. You want to almost feel like there's always competition for places, and you want to think someone else is coming in to that midfield engine room really to like to rocket up a couple of the lads' arse and make them think, oh, our place isn't safe. This new lad looks really good and he looks up for it. And you also want the lads to think, wow, there's extra reinforcements, this mission that we're on. We've got new lads to come and kind of take the mantle and help us with our objectives, because not like we haven't struggled, but we just haven't had enough. Yeah. And if we know ourselves as mere humans that all of our best efforts, 110% of our efforts hasn't been enough, then at some point you have to accept that. Yeah, as players, they probably accepted they needed extra bodies in. Is this their way of signalling now to the powers that be, and they can turn it back on when they get it? Have they spat the done? You know, the toys, kick the toys out the pram? I don't think it's that. I think fundamentally what's going on in terms of the pitch and the players at the moment is there's a lack of belief in themselves. There's a lack of application in actually...
There's a lack of talent. There's lack of quality. There's lack of everything. I've got a couple more super chats and go... There's the deeper conversations can be had. We'll talk about the game in a minute. So, apologies if I butchered your name wrong here, mate. I think it's Gil Duran says we're 5 points off relegation. 5 points. Yeah, we are. There's a lot of places, but we are 5. But it's sad to see, really.
Closer to relegation than we are to the Champions League places right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's undisputable. Let's look at the game then very quickly in isolation before we head off to do some of the other shows as well, which is going to be a battle of laughs for all of us. But yeah, by the way, we're going to be doing the fan reaction show, so if you go to the socials now and let Errol know your thoughts, I'm sure that's going to be a fire. And I'll be doing the player ratings. God knows what I'm going to do on that. And then we'll have the instant match later where we can really go in depth on exactly what's happened. We've gone through the start and you can't give goals away. When they get themselves back in it, it's 1-1 after 14 minutes. I think we both said, right, shit, mistakes can happen. Sometimes a goalie can fall over. Sometimes you can play a bad back pass. Shit can happen. And Liverpool did create chances, and this is the same against Nottingham Forest, Errol, as well, is that You can't say, sometimes you get, there's a lack of creativity in Liverpool. Well, there wasn't, because the chances were there. Liverpool in the end, and I'll just go back to the stats very, very quickly, just to confirm that. They have 10 shots on target. They have 22 shots. Now, of those 10, I don't know how many are what you'd call like the class saves, but Mesley did have a lot of saves to make. Leeds have 6 on target, which again, they have 14, so they were always a threat in the game. Poor finishing, poor decisions, poor quality, and when that happens up front, you are liable to get a sucker punch.
But that game right there, yeah, is Ajax in the week. The exact same thing happened at Ajax. That was the same performance that we put in at Ajax, except we got the result we deserved this time.
A bit more, and we were a bit more clinical in Holland.
Yeah,
3 really good finishes, and we didn't have those.
We didn't have those today. There wasn't that level of being clinical.
And Leeds were, whereas Ajax maybe weren't.
Exactly, and I think that, you know, that opening chance that they got in the first minute and a half again, they don't bury that, but Leeds get their gift. They go on to bury theirs. That game, they had a couple of chances. That one that flies off the post as well. That, to me, was the exact same level of performance, except the other day, we come away and we're all rosy and we're happy because we get through the qualifier. You know, we go through to the knockouts. But here, in the Prem, when it's your bread and butter week in, week out, we know what Prem teams do. We know the fine margins. We know if you put in the same performance that you put in midweek, again, we didn't change nothing apart from one player. The level didn't dramatically change. The style didn't dramatically change. The intent didn't really change from Liverpool. Look what happens.
Got a couple more super chats. H. Duncan says, no matter what happens this season, Liverpool have been one of the biggest clubs worldwide. A good goal for Salah. Yeah, fine. Keeping positives where you can. And Rachel, we're back to the 90s again with the £5 super. And that's what it feels like at times. Again, it's only 12 games into the Premier League season. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 defeats, which, you know, for a team who were hoping to win titles and were minutes away from a Premier League title last season, it isn't absolutely where you need to be. Chandler, let's have a little read this on. Klopp is the filling in the poo sandwich. One slice is FSG not investing in the squad, and the other slice is our players not being right in their head. Again, there's a million reasons why and we'll dig into those at future. We're just going to focus on this game. I want to talk about again before we finish, and we'll wrap up here very quickly. That last goal kind of sums Liverpool up this season, mate. Second to a couple of balls, losing challenges, falling asleep, and from I suppose, like, again, I don't think Thiago covers himself in glory there. I don't think Milner and Jones at right back do, and I don't think Virgil does. They're like, especially, you know,
they're hoping he runs that into the corner and is happy with a fucking draw.
Yeah, and
that's what the Liverpool players are thinking in their head. Switched off. They just want to draw. They don't think, and it's like, no, we're sat here in the studio. We're not even in the ground, and we can sense that these lads feel like if there's a chance for them, they're going to take it. Patrick Bamford nearly had one 5 minutes earlier. If it's not down to a bad touch on his left foot, and he opens his body up properly, it's already 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. No, you can't. Like I say, both sides will had chance. If that would have been a draw, we'd have been sitting here ruining our chances, and Leeds would have been sitting there going, "Oh my God, we could have nicked that." And in the end, like I say, it ends up 2-1, and I just don't know where we go from here. It's really, 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 really disappointment. Too many players just didn't perform. Liverpool again, another fucking two weeks in a row now. Liverpool have lost to teams who are in terrible form, down the bottom of the table, and we've just gifted wins, or we've been outfought. I don't know how you even describe it anymore. It really, really is an absolute sickener. But what I can say is that, like I say, we've gone from being in a title race that we thought we were in now to a top 4 race, and even now, bloody hell, that looks like it's going to be hard graft if Liverpool continue to play like this. It's really, it's all eggs in the Champions League basket again. Maybe, I don't know. It's just really, really difficult. But yeah, we're I
don't think we can handle. Yeah, that's another conversation. I just don't think we can handle that level of pressure.
It's really, really disappointing. Liverpool once again underperform. The players will come out and they'll say we've got to work harder and we've got to do this and we've got to do that. But talk is cheap now. It's time for action. Someone needs to sort this and fix this. How can you beat Manchester City, lose Nottingham Forest, lose the Leeds? It's really, really, really.
I'd have rather lost to City. I'd have rather lost to City and give up those 3 points and let them have 4 points on fucking Arsenal right now.
And win the other two.
And win the other two. But I would have, bro. Like, it's a no-brainer.
It's sick.
Like, it's a no-brainer. What that all that like positivity and giving yourself the clap on the shoulder to say, yeah, we've beat City and we can still beat anyone on our day bullshit has gone out the window.
Not great at all. Right, then we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone for joining us for the shows today. Unfortunately, the results didn't go as we wanted, but yeah, if you do want to, I don't know, get more content and speak even more about it, have your thoughts, do get involved in the fan reaction show. Come and join us live at the Player Rating Show. You can have your thoughts there as well. And me and Ella will try and go in depth a little bit more into the match reaction, maybe provide a little bit of therapy for just, even if it's just for ourselves. We're going to have a chat. If anyone wants to watch or listen to it, redmenplus.com is there for you. You've got reaction from the ground, from Paul, Chris and the guys as well on the YouTube and on Redmen Plus. So yeah, maybe we can cheer each other up, get involved. Let's huddle together.
Go follow as well and let us know, because we'll be jumping over to your fan reactions. So let me know on the socials what you think.
See us all in a bit. Take care.
Get closer to Liverpool Football Club and the amazing city of Liverpool with Redmen Plus. More content for your eyes and ears, documentaries, extra bonus Redmen shows, podcast features, interviews. Get close to the culture of Liverpool Football Club on Redmen Plus.